It's time, and you've tuned into the Franklin County Varsity Sports Report. Now here's your host, Bobby C.
Hello and welcome to the Franklin County Varsity Sports Report. I'm Bobby C. I want to welcome you here today. We're so excited about another great week with lots to talk about. Another girl in Franklin County has made history, and we're going to talk about her in our show this week. Want to thank our underwriters. Want to thank our friends at the Four Leaf Clover Restaurant in Berniston, also by Denny's Pantry, Berniston Road in Greenfield, by our friend Lisa Albert at Albert Hearing Services, 33 Riddell Street in Greenfield, and by Sean Hubert at Hubie's, the Tavern and Restaurant on Avenue A in Turners Falls. Want to thank my producer, John Meisner, also Philippe Simone. Thank you, gentlemen. Also, Chris Collins down at the FCAT in South Deerfield. We're so glad to be able to bring you the Franklin County Varsity Sports Report. Why don't we get things started for you this week? It all started last Monday, and I could say that Long Meadow High School stormed out to a big lead and ended up beating Frontier in an independent field hockey game. Final score was 6-0. That was played in South Deerfield. The Lancers are the defending Western Mass Division I champion and state finalist. They ended up leading 5-0 at halftime and really put it to Frontier. Frontier's goalkeeper, Skylar Berniski, ended up having 16 saves for the Redhawks, which suffered their first loss of the season. They're now 4-1-2. Long Meadow held a 22-4 edge in shots on net, also 10-1 advantage in corners. Also, Greenfield ends up picking up a big victory in field hockey against Mohawk. That was last Monday. For 30 minutes on Monday, visiting Mohawk was really in control. But the Wave broke through with 2 goals and ended up coming back with another 2 goals and pulled off the 4-1 victory, and they did it at home at Veterans Field. Their coach, Aaron Thayer, said, "We weren't mentally in the right place when we started the game. We had a lack of mental focus, which ended up losing a lot of our fundamental decision-making, and it surely showed at times throughout our game." Mohawk ended up riding the play of Tess Rancourt and Abby Sinister. That was defensively, as the duo helped Greenfield off the board for most of the game. But yes, Greenfield comes up with 4 goals and ends up winning 4-1. If you ask Coach Lynn Hopner of how her team did for Mohawk, she says, "We did a good job. We were in it, and I'm very proud of our team's strong start." Audrey Brusciano broke through with the game's first goal. Also in there was Reagan Hickey, Maddie Kacheski. They found the back of the net as well. Taylor Williams ended up scoring the goal for Mohawk with an assist from Shelby Sinister. The Warriors did hold a 7-6 edge in corners, while Greenfield had the edge of 17-9 with shots on goal. Cordero Kendall ended up with 13 saves for the visitors, and Greenfield senior Sam Smith had 8 saves for Greenfield. Well, in girls volleyball, back on Monday, Greenfield knocked off Pioneer, picking up their first victory of the season. Final score was 3-2, and what a great match this was. Greenfield loses the first game 18-25. Then Greenfield comes back. They win game 2, 25-21. They win game 3, they lose game 3, 22-25, win game 4, 25-16. Then they win game 5, the decider, 15-8. Surely was a great matchup between these two teams that are pretty even. Can say that Greenfield ends up picking up their first victory of the season. Pioneer has 1 win on the year as well. Avery Johnson, 7 aces and 1 dig. Also Kiana McGraw with her 6 kills and a pair of aces. And Annika Tormanen ended up with 4 aces, a kill and a dig. And Lily Fye had an ace and 3 kills. They were the key contributors for Pioneer. Now for the Wave, Lexi Rao dished out 14 assists. Caitlin Moore had 7 aces and 10 digs. It was a busy night, but they did very well for the Wave. Well, we can say the Turners knocked off Athol, and that was in girls volleyball back on Monday. Final score was 3-0. Game 1 was 25-9. Game 2 was 25-14. Game 3 was 25-15. Isabel Farrick registered 5 kills for the Power Town, and Dabney Rollins ended up with 3 kills, 2 aces. Haley Bogus notched 5 assists to go with a kill and 4 aces. Lindsay Whiteman had 3 aces. Maddie McCassie ended up with 2 kills, 2 aces to lead the victory for the Thunder as they pulled off the victory. Well, in boys soccer, it was Greenfield knocking off Smith Academy for the first time since 2016. The Greenfield boys team won a soccer game. Congratulations goes out to them. They were winless a season ago. The host Green Wave ended up charging back from a 2-0 deficit, 3 unanswered goals. Very impressive as they knocked off Smith Academy. You know, it's funny because their first-year coach, Andy Rupp, said the kids were completely fired up. Well, they earned their first victory of the year in the process. It was their hard work that gave them the opportunity, and they put it all together at the right time with those 3 unanswered goals. Greenfield is now 1-4 overall as they go into another week here. I can tell you that their star player, Anjoy Kang Striker, ended up getting the hosts on the board in the 29th minute. Not long after that came a huge moment in the game, according to Rupp that is, when Smith Academy was awarded a penalty kick just before halftime, and goalkeeper from Greenfield, Alex Carballo, ended up making a huge save. Turned out to be a big one for them. They really needed that. Can say that it turned out to be a great victory for Greenfield. Congratulations goes out to them. Carballo ended up with 10 saves in the net for Greenfield, and they have a big game. They got to play good old Pioneer, a team that's pretty good this next week. Well, looks like Frontier ends up winning against Southwick. Final score was 3-1 after dominating the first half, but falling and getting themselves in a little bit of a pinch. They ended up coming back and winning 3-1, a nice victory for them. Evan Horton, the coach of the team, said, "I thought we dominated play today. We probably shouldn't have had 3 goals in the first half. I thought that if we didn't score early in the second half, it could have been a dogfight. Well, we hung in there. We did exactly what we needed to do, and we pulled off the 3-1 victory." He also said that we picked up the tempo today. We're starting to figure out that some of these players are really starting to play better together, and we got to continue to keep rotating different guys into the game. We need fresh bodies. Can say that Vic McNutt got the visitors on the board just 4 minutes into the second half. That was a nice goal from Connor Bagden. And also, Doug Hanoski also tallied and got a goal, and Bagden ended up with a goal too. So that turned out to be your 3 goals for Frontier, 3-1 victory over Southwick on Monday. Well, in girls soccer, it was Smith Academy beating Pioneer. Final score was 3-0. Pioneer, now 0-3-1 on the season, has yet to score through 4 games this year. They received 8 saves in the net from Leah Fuse, and Smith ended up having the edge, 14-13, with shots on net. 3-0, Smith Academy over Pioneer. That was girls soccer on Monday. Well, we can tell you that we also had a 1-1 tie on Monday between Mohawk and Smith Vocational in girls soccer. That's something that we wanted to share with you. Also, we had a chance to talk a little bit about how the girls went. Want to mention that Ben Morris also had a good game for Frontier in that Southwick game, as well as Peter Bronke ending up with 3 saves in the net in that Frontier boys soccer game. Also, Skylar Berniski, we talked about her, 16 saves for Frontier in their loss to Long Meadow. Well, on good old Tuesday, turned out to be quite a light day of sports, as I can tell you that the Warriors aced their way to a win. That's right. Ashley Reynolds served up a whopping 13 aces, and Mohawk end up cruising to its first win of the season in girls volleyball. They end up winning, and they beat the Franklin County Tech School. Here's how it went. They win game 1, 25-13. They win game 2, 25-19. And they win game 3, 25-9. Reynolds added 8 assists, 3 digs, and 3 kills to help her team out. Also, Alex Lilly contributed in several departments, putting down a kill to go with an assist, also an ace and 3 digs. Julia Massey ends up with 2 kills and 4 aces. Barrett Lieberman ends up with 2 kills, 2 digs, as they played well in the win. Franklin County Tech is now 0-9 on the season, but they were paced defensively by Kelly Trudeau's 7 digs. Kimmy Petrovich ended up getting a team-high 4 kills and an ace. She also had an assist and 3 digs, and Emily Ryan totaled 3 kills, 3 digs, 2 aces for the Tech School. Well, another nice victory for the Frontier team. Of course, this volleyball team is just so special. They beat Long Meadow. Final score was 3-0, a nice win for them. Visiting Frontier rode on 10 kill performances from senior outside hitter Lauren Davenport to sweep Long Meadow. They win Game 1, 25-16. Game 2, 25-23. Game 3, 25-17. Olivia Dean also helped power the offense for Frontier. They're now 8-1 as of last Monday. 9 kills on the day, while Ashley Talega ended up tossing in 6 kills. Jalen Sullivan had a pair. Haley Orlowski, also Riley Eisler. Kamani Topolowski ended up pulling down some kills in the victory. Check this out. Elizabeth Fuqua ended up with 16 assists. Olivia Rosewarne had 10 assists. The service attack was very special as Dean and Davenport each had 3 aces apiece. Nice victory right there. Frontier still doing it and doing it well. So we had a chance to mention most of the girls. A couple of other girls I'd like to talk about. How about we talk about Morgan Martineau? She ended up with a dig on the day. Jalen Sullivan ended up with 2 kills and 1 block. Also, Olivia Rosewarne had 2 aces, 10 assists, and 3 digs for Frontier. Want you to know that everybody got mentioned in that Mohawk game as well, so a very light day for activity on Tuesday, and I'll tell you why it was light is because on Tuesday we ended up having wet weather, so the only thing that we were able to play was indoor sports, and the only indoor sport that we really do in the fall is, of course, volleyball. So that's why we were able to give you those volleyball scores from last Tuesday. Want to welcome you to the Franklin County Varsity Sports Report. I'm Bobby C. And hey, I want to let you know that we have a cool event that's coming up. It's our special GCTV, the belated birthday party. Activities, games, lots of food, fun. Monday, October 22nd, 5:30 to 7:30. Doors open at 5 right here at our studio, 393 Main Street in Greenfield. We're right across the street from the library. You'll see us. Our office is right next to the Chamber of Commerce. So make sure you stop by, say hello, have some birthday cake with us, and be able to visit. And I'll be around too. So make sure you stop by and say hello to me as well. Really appreciate all the efforts of everybody to be able to be a part of this show. Want to say a big thank you to our underwriters. Thank you so much to the 4 Leaf Clover Restaurant in Berniston, Denny's Pantry, Berniston Road in Greenfield, Lisa Alber of Alber Hearing Services, 33 Riddell Street in Greenfield, and by Hubie's, the Tavern and Restaurant on Avenue A in Turners Falls. The guy behind making sure that we got everything all under control is our one-man crew of John Meisner. And then a little sidekick from Mr. Philippe Simone. Thank them guys so much for being a part of this great show that we've been doing now for over 2 years. Matter of fact, we were just talking about this. We are in show number 101. Wow. Over 100 shows already of the Franklin County Varsity Sports Report. Well, let's get right into Wednesday here. Joey Mosca ended up sweeping 4 points, and it turned out to be a nice victory as Turners Falls knocked off Mohawk. We'll talk about all the scores in that. Greenfield beat Smith Academy 13-11. So we'll get you updates on those golf scores for the kids in just a moment. In field hockey, Greenfield ends up beating Agawam 5-1. 3 more goals from Reagan Hickey propelled Greenfield to an impressive road win. Boy, they are nasty. Talk about a team that is so good. Hickey tallied 3 times, also had an assist. Raquel Provost and Katie Hazelton also had goals. Greenfield undefeated on the season so far. Hazelton, also Maddie Kacheski and Olivia Joy all notched assists. Greenfield held the advantage in corners, 13-3, 10-6 advantage in shots. Defensively, they played pretty well, and they made some good decisions according to their coach, Erin Thayer. She said also that Nikki Miner had a great game defensively. We put her on one of their top players, and she stopped quite a few of their shots and did a wonderful job. Matter of fact, Sam Smith had a nice easy night for the Wave with only 5 saves, but you know what? This team is so good. Minnechaug ends up beating Frontier. Final score was 2-0. And I'll tell you, what a tough week for the Redhawks. You know, they had that tough game against Long Meadow, you know, the defending champions in Division I, and then they came out and they played a very impressive team, this Minnechaug team that's also very good as well. You know, if you talk to their head coach, I think that Missy Marhar said it right. You know, I think we had a better performance today. We adjusted to the pace. We hung in there. We need to start capitalizing on our offensive chances a little bit better. But we can say that Skylar Berniski ended up having a nice day for them as she turned away 11 shots in the loss. So the Red Hawks, of course, right now, 2 losses in a row brings them to 4-2-2. But remember, they're playing above their competition, which is always good. Well, it looks like Marhar knocked off the Franklin County Tech School. That was in volleyball. A tight second set saw the Franklin County Tech School even the match, but in the end, they ended up losing. And it was too bad because they had a chance to get that one game, and it came this close. Here's how it went. They ended up losing game 1, 25-16. They lost that second game, 29-27. They went into extra, and then it was 25-20 in game 3. The second game, I told the girls they played great, says Franklin County Tech's coach Jade Cuervo. You know, it is very promising to see them put things together. Summer Gaddro paced Franklin County Tech School with 6 kills and 5 digs, also an ace. Emily Ryan ended up with 2 kills and 3 blocks. Renee Reed had an ace, 2 kills, 2 assists, 2 digs, and a block for the Tech School. Well, Lennox knocked off Turner's Falls. Despite 5 kills and 3 aces from Taylor Murphy, visiting Turner's Falls was unable to keep pace with Lennox. They lost game 1, 25-20. Game 2, 25-15. Game 3, 25-18. Dabney Rollins ended up with 4 kills and 3 aces for the Thunder. Yes, they end up taking on a very good team later this week. They'll take on East Long Meadow. We'll talk about that. This is the game of Wednesday night. Well, East Hampton knocked off Greenfield. Final score was 3-0. East Hampton swept Greenfield 25-21, 25-10 in Game 2, 25-15 in Game 3. The Wave now 1-6 with the loss. Let's run down those golf scores for you once again. And I got the individual performances here. In that Smith Academy versus Greenfield matchup on Wednesday, where Greenfield won 13-11, their best golfer was Ryan Cody on the day with a 40. Jake Cody, his brother, with a 44. Cam Baird with a 49. Dylan Archer with a 49. Gabe LaRoche with a 50. And Danny Provost with a 53. In boys golf, it was Turner's Falls with a win over Mohawk, 15-9. The medalist was Joey Mosca. He ended up with a 46. Andy Robertson from Mohawk with a 49. Brady Buska from Turner's Falls with a 52. Will Guyette with a 52 from Mohawk. Ben Thompson from Mohawk with a 55. Tristan Lacrosse from Mohawk with a 56. Brian Poirier for Turner's Falls with a 57. Aiden Bailey for Turner's Falls with a 59. Alex Sulda for Turner's with a 60. And Aiden Drury from Mohawk with a 65. Turner's wins on Wednesday against Mohawk 15-9. Well, there you go. We made it through Wednesday. Now we start getting into a busy Thursday as we continue on with the Franklin County Varsity Sports Report. Just want to give you one quick reminder, though, and we'll get to that right now, that we do have a belated birthday party coming up. GCTV is having a gathering that you want to be able to be a part of. These games, lots of food and fun. That's right, happening on Monday, October 22nd, 5:30 to 7:30. Say it again? Networking. All right. So we're going to be, we're going to be giving you a chance to be able to see the services that are provided here. You can be able to check out what they do with the TV station. You can check out what they do with the radio station that they have here at our facility. Thank you very much, Philippe, for that. Doors open at 5 o'clock. Once again, October 22nd on a Monday, 5:30 to 7:30. Well, we have something we need to talk about. We got to talk about a girl who is just amazing. And she is one of the top athletes in this area. Her name is Casside Wozniak. She has developed into one of the most potent offensive players in Franklin County when it comes to girls field hockey. The senior sniper scored 3 times in the first half and surpassed the 100-point mark of her career in the Thunder's win over the Franklin County Tech School on Thursday, 5-0. With 18 minutes left in the first half of a scoreless game, Wozniak, who entered the day 1 point shy of her mark, found herself in traffic in front of the Eagles' goal when sophomore teammate Amber Taylor fired a shot in on goalie Kaylee Boleno. She knocked it down, and Wozniak was able to be right in the right place at the right time and knocked it home and ended up getting her 100th point. The game was stopped to recognize the star, and afterwards, Wozniak, who began playing varsity in 8th grade, said that it was so nice to be able to finally reach this achievement. She said, quote, that it was something that she's been looking forward to. It really is good to get it. It's good to be able to work with my teammates and to have them support me and all the coaches and family that has been there. I'm very proud of how the team played today, too. The goal perfectly worked out well because Wozniak is truly the offensive star on this team. But I'm going to tell you what, that little Amber Taylor, boy, watch out for her. She is a fantastic little player herself. So great job by Amber Taylor this year as well. She has really been a true star herself. I want to tell you a little bit of a story about this girl, Casside Wozniak. Don't know if you know this or not, folks, but she plays for the hockey team, the Greenfield hockey team. Yes, she does. So she says that she goes up against guys who are 6'2", 250 pounds. She says hockey has definitely helped, you know. Playing with boys, getting hit in hockey helps because, hey, you're blocking shots, you're trying to get in front of the net. It's almost like you're playing the same type of game. It's a little bit different, but it still sort of has a lot in how it works. Something she hopes to continue to do is to get this at a collegiate level. She's hoping to play college field hockey. That would be awesome. I hope she does. Wozniak is a very hard worker, according to her coach, Becky Dame. She says she really worked hard in getting her 100 points. It's something that she has wanted all year. She works very hard every day at practice. She's always giving 100%. She doesn't take practice off. In addition to the work at practice, Wozniak has been working very hard away from practice. Her and Taylor have been spending a lot of time together, and you can tell because those two girls have had a great year. Yep, the bottom line is they just want to work together, try to build that chemistry. Wozniak now has 15 goals and 5 assists on the year, while Taylor, on the other hand, has a goal with 2 assists just on Thursday. She's second on the team with 6 goals and 8 assists on the season. Yep, the dynamics are good between those two. Dame said that while Wozniak has scored a lot of goals in her career, 85 to be exact, it does garner a lot of attention. She is extremely well-liked by her teammates. They really took part in her celebration. All the girls on the team are very excited for her, which shows how much they like her. Dame also said that she's a team player and a great person. Wozniak wound up scoring the first 3 goals in the first half, giving her team that commanding lead, and they end up winning. Haley Green, another great year for her, too. She ended up getting the shutout. Boleno, by the way, great job in the net. 17 saves for the Tech School. Congratulations to the one and only Casside Wozniak. Turner's Falls, I call her the superstar. Why? She's great at hockey, she's great at field hockey, and she's a really good softball player too. And like they said, a great kid. Congratulations, Casside, from all of us here at the Franklin County Varsity Sports Report. Well, back on Thursday, Mohawk took on Athol, and it was definitely all Mohawk in this one. 3 players scored multiple goals. Mohawk took care of business at home. They ended up winning 7-0. The Warriors are now 3-5 as of last Thursday. They held a 28-0 advantage on shots while holding a 15-0 edge in corners. Mohawks, Maya Lashir, also Caitlin Johnston, Tess Rancourt, they all tallied twice. Alexis Williams ended up getting a goal. Johnston and Taylor Williams each had an assist. Can say turned out to be a very good day for Mohawk. Well, Southwick knocked off Pioneer. That right there was a tough one for them in an independent game. Can say that it was a nice victory for Southwick. Southwick held the edge 14-5 in shots, 14-4 in corner shots. Pioneer 2-3. They were powered by Athena, Fowler Shaw's 8 saves in the net. Well, we could say that Frontier, their boys cross-country team is pretty darn good. How about this? They remain undefeated. As of Thursday, Karsten Carey, he streaked across the finish line in 18 minutes and 15 seconds. Frontier defeated Greenfield 21-36. Greenfield's Tyson LeBombard ended up breaking up a string of 4 Frontier runners that were in the top 5 as he finished second with a time of 19 minutes and 24 seconds. After that, it was all Redhawks. Peter Carey came in third with a time of 19 minutes and 36 seconds. George Bayless was fourth at 20 minutes and 6 seconds. Also, Brinda ended up in fifth place at a time of 20 minutes and 8 seconds. The Green Wave, they did take the next 2 spots with Andy Bostrom in sixth place with a time of 20 minutes and 31 seconds. And Dylan Badillo ended up seventh. He ended up coming in at 21 minutes and 16 seconds. We can also tell you that Fallon Koski ended up being 8th for Frontier. He had a time of 21 minutes and 24 seconds. Well, Mohawk knocked off Pioneer, so they ended up winning in cross country. It was 19-36. Dennis Simmons continued his strong freshman campaign as he dusted the field. Yep, Simmons ended up doing very well. How about the 2.55 mile course in a time of 15 minutes and 53 seconds? He ended up besting the field by nearly 1 minute. Guy Rice-LaSure ended up being second at a time of 16 minutes and 49 seconds. Fellow Mohawk Harrier Sean O'Dean ended up nabbing third with a time of 17 minutes and 2 seconds. Pioneer's top runner, he's had a great year for Pioneer, Noah DeRuiter. He ended up getting fourth place with a time of 18 minutes and 31 seconds. Great job, Noah. Noah doing a great job for his Pioneer team. Jacob Walker was sixth with a time of 19 minutes and 14 seconds. Brian Bodenstein was right behind in seventh place. He had a time of 19 minutes and 16 seconds. Pioneer doesn't have enough runners to score on the girls' side, but the Mohawk girls still ran anyway on Thursday. Megan Davis, she ended up doing amazing things as she always does. She came through at first with a time of 15 minutes and 53 seconds, followed by Erica. She ended up with a time of 18 minutes and 7 seconds. Lumen ends up with a time of 19 minutes and 50 seconds. Caitlin Upton with a time of 21 minutes and 26 seconds. And Savannah Simmons ends up with a time of 21 minutes and 32 seconds. Also in girls cross country, Frontier knocked off Greenfield. Final score was 21-40. Yep, that's what happened in that one. Frontier had 7 of the top 10 finishers. I can tell you that it turned out to be a very good day for the Frontier runners in this one. Louisiana Kalam ends up with Greenfield's, she ends up with a time of 23 minutes and 15 seconds, but Frontier ended up placing the next 4 runners right in a row. Angelina England, she was the first Frontier runner to cross the line with a time of 23 minutes and 40 seconds. Ackerman ends up being in third place with a time of 24 minutes, 18 seconds. Marie Diamond was fourth place, 24 minutes, 30 seconds. Leah Gump was fifth place, 24 minutes and 56 seconds. Candace Liu came in sixth for the Green Wave with a time of 25 minutes and 15 seconds. Ava Howland was seventh for Frontier with a time of 25 minutes, 23 seconds. Fiona Howes was 8th with a time of 25 minutes, 26 seconds. Emily Luce ends up 9th with a time of 25 minutes and 39 seconds. Well, in girls volleyball, it was Mohawk knocking off Athol. Final was 3-0. Octava Crawford ended up putting down 7 kills. Ashley Reynolds ditched out 16 assists, and Mohawk wins. They end up winning nicely, 3-0. Win game 1, 25-11. Game 2, 26-24. Game 3, 25-12. Reynolds served up the 6 aces. Also, she added 3 digs and 2 kills to lead the Warriors. Crawford ended up with a pair of assists and an ace. Julia Massey and Jordan Rice each had 4 kills apiece in the victory. Kayla Martin had 3 kills and a trio of digs. Also, Ellie Patnode ends up with 2 kills, 8 aces, and 2 assists. Lydia Sargent ended up with a kill. Alex Lilly had 1 kill and 2 aces. Barrett Lieberman ended up with a kill, and they aided the win for Mohawk. So Mohawk picks up a nice victory over Athol. Girls volleyball on Thursday, 3-0. Well, Frontier picks up a big win at home. It's called Pack the House Night, and they do it against a very good Amherst team. It was a packed house over at Frontier Regional. Lauren Davenport ended up with 15 kills and 6 digs on Thursday night. Frontier defeated Amherst. They end up winning game 1, 25-19. They win game 2, 25-21. Lose game 3, 21-25. Win game 4, 25-12. All the proceeds from the evening went to benefit Jackson Fox. He is an Athol junior varsity player who was struck by a truck over the summer and still remains in the hospital. What a nice gesture that was by the Frontier volleyball team. Olivia Dean ended up with 11 kills. She also had 3 digs, and she did well for Frontier. Ashley Talega finished with 4 kills, 4 aces, and 3 digs. Elizabeth Kuka, how about this? Elizabeth ends up with 27 assists and 10 digs. Olivia Rosewarn ended up with 8 assists and 5 digs. You know, according to their head coach, Sean McDonald, he said, quote, "We made a bunch of hitting errors at the end of the game. I keep saying to them, I want to see the team that wants to win a state championship. I want to see that team. And the girls really need to do this right now as time is ticking away in the 2018 volleyball season. I know you, Coach. You'll have them ready, and they will be ready to respond as they do each and every year." Well, we do have some golf scores, and we'll run down some of those individual performances for you. Turner's knocked off East Hampton. That was on Thursday afternoon. They won 16-8. Frontier with a huge win. They continue to be undefeated on the year. They beat Hopkins Academy 24-0. Munson beats Greenfield 18.5 to 5.5. Franklin County Tech School beats Sabas 22-2. Mohawk ends up beating Central 21.5 to 2.5. And we can run down some of those scores, and we'll do that in just a bit. Well, in soccer, it was Frontier blanking Hampshire Regional. Final score was 1-0. Frontier, the boys team, they end up winning, but boy, things have been a little bit tough for this team. The one thing that their coach said about the goal was it was a thing of beauty. He said it was a beautiful shot that was shot by Grady Fern. It was the only goal of the game, 4 minutes left in regulation to lift the Redhawks to the victory. Bronchi ended up with 3 saves on the night. Fern's goal was also assisted by Aiden White, and I can say that this was a game that they really needed. They said, quote, Horton says, you know, we dominated the first half. I thought, but really in this game, we had things that we didn't do well. And their overall record right now is a little on the tough side. Redhawks are 4-3-1 in boys soccer. But we have to remember something. This was the team that had a lot of stacked help, and they lost a lot of players to graduation. Well, it turned out to be a great day for Pioneer. They knocked off Smith Academy. That was in boys soccer back on Thursday. Garrett Cody scored twice in the first half. Jack Loud buried a pair. And yes, they win easily 6-0. Noah Keith and Jacob Quinn also found the back of the net, helping the Panthers to improve to 4-1 as of Thursday. Felix Pruitt-Dahl ended up setting up 2 of Pioneer's goals with assists. Also, Keith and Cody had a couple as well. Pioneer did outshot Smith Academy on the day, 22-3. Pioneer's keeper, Ryan Underwood, he had 3 saves and the shutout. Well, the Franklin County Tech School picked up a victory on Thursday. They knocked off the Hamden Charter School. Final score was 3-0. What a great year they're having. Tony Berloni ended up setting the tone with a goal late in the first half, and the visiting Franklin County Tech School ends up doing well. They tacked on a couple more in the second half. Giovanni Reggiano and Ruben Galvez found the back of the net as well. So this team right now, as of Thursday, 6-1, 5-0 in the league. Galvez assisted on 2 goals. Also, Barilloni ended up notching an assist. That was on the Galvez tally. Grayson Funk recorded 2 saves in the shutout. According to their coach, Kurt Richardson, he says, we're still struggling with our shot selection a bit. We just have to play within ourselves, and we need to move the ball better. You know, this guy right here for a team who is 6-1 and 5-0 in their league has been very critical about some of the play of his team. And I'll tell you, I have to give him credit for this. Sometimes your kids may think because they're dominating in their league that they're playing really good soccer. But you have to remember, where are you going to be when it comes to playoff time? Are you going to be prepared? Are you going to be ready? Are you going to be focused? He wants to make sure that this team is ready and focused for tournament play. So I have lots of kudos to say about Kurt Richardson. I think he's done a wonderful job with the team this year. And you know what? Sometimes as a coach, maybe those individual players that are playing within themselves, that are doing a good job and being able to concentrate on being able to do the right thing and make the right decisions, those are the guys that get more playing time. The ones that don't want to play like a teammate, guess what? Bench them. That's what you have to do with some of these kids. You got to sort of set the tone to let them know that you're the coach and you're the boss. In girls soccer, it was Smith Vocational. They knocked off the Franklin County Tech School. Final score was 6-0. I could tell you that Smith Voc outshot Franklin County Tech by a margin of 14-10. The Eagles goalie, Emily Merritt, recorded 8 saves in the loss. Franklin County Tech is now 2-4-1, and that was as of Thursday. Want to run down those individual scores that we have for you in golf that we talked about earlier on Thursday of last week. Let's get right into it here. In that Mohawk game against Central, where it was 21.5 to 2.5, the winner and the medalist was Will Guyette with a score of 46 for Mohawk. Tristan Lacrosse for Mohawk with a 51. Andy Robertson for Mohawk with a 55. Ben Thompson for Mohawk with a 59. Pat Node for Mohawk with a 77. In boys golf, Franklin County Tech School knocked off Westfield Technical Academy. Final score was 22-2. Let's run down who the medalists were in this. It was a tie between Mike McGoldrick and Nate Pelletier. They both had a 42. Mike Patnode ended up with a 47 for the Tech School. Ryan Artis for the Tech School ended up with a 50. Jacob Shaw for the Tech School with a 52. Anthony Zager for the Tech School with a 56. Boys golf in that game on Thursday, the matchup between East Hampton and Turners. Turners wins 16-8. I can say that the top performer turned out to be Brian Poirier for Turners Falls, Aiden Bailey with a 45, Tyler Noyce with a 46, Joey Mosca with a 51, Alex Sulda with a 52, Brady Buska with a 53 for Turners. In that matchup between Greenfield and Munson, where Munson won 18.5 to 5.5. Looks like the top performer for Greenfield was Ryan Cody with a 45, Gabe LaRoche with a 50, Danny Provost with a 50, Jake Cody with a 53, Cam Baird with a 53, and Dylan Archer with a 64. Frontier continues their winning ways, undefeated on the year. They end up winning big over Hopkins, 24-0. Here you go. All top performers right here. Mikey Kordoff gets the medal with a nice 32. Wow, that's a great round right there. Brian Bauman with a 37. Kaylin Evans with a 38. Rowan Blair with a 39. Porter Clancy with a 39. Gunnar Moore with a 41. Ends up being the top performers. They win big. 24-0. Frontier golf undefeated on the year. Want you to know that we do have someone we want to mention, Lexi Williams, and also Taylor Williams ended up getting some goals and assists in that field hockey game between Athol and Mohawk. So it turned out to be a pretty good Thursday, and there was a lot that happened on Thursday because a lot of those games that ended up getting rained out on Tuesday, they were able to get those games in on Thursday. Want to welcome you to the Franklin County Varsity Sports Report. I'm Bobby C., and so glad you're with us here today. Want to let you know that we are here each and every week to be able to share the sports scores with you. We do it with the 6 schools here in Franklin County. Franklin County Tech, Greenfield, Turners, Frontier, Mohawk, and Pioneer. We mention all the kids. We get as many kids' names on here each and every week as we can. Want to thank our friends at the 4-Leaf Clover Restaurant in Berniston. Also by our friends at Denny's Pantry, Berniston Road in Greenfield. Lisa Albert of Albert Hearing Services, 33 Riddell Street in Greenfield. And by Hubie's Tavern and Restaurant, Avenue A in Turners Falls. The guy behind the controls, Johnny Meisner. And also our friend Philippe Simone. Thank you, gentlemen, for all your help here. Want to let you know that we have a great networking opportunity. Young filmmakers, or maybe some youth interest in some video. Well, guess what? We have a great opportunity for you. You know that you could be a nice producer. And maybe you could even help out on shows like this. That's how we got Johnny Meisner in. Johnny Meisner decided he wanted to join on, and we're so blessed to have him as part of our show. And you could do the same thing. It's a great networking opportunity. And you can be able to do that and join us at a cool birthday party. Activities, games, lots of food and fun. Learn some information about GCTV and the radio station too. Oh yeah, the radio station, 107.9 FM. Hey, you ever thought about maybe being a DJ? You ever thought about doing a sports talk show on radio? Well, guess what? They need someone who would like to do a sports talk show on the radio. Maybe that could be you. And you could come to the open house and birthday party they're having. That's October 22nd, 5:30 to 7:30, right here at GCTV. Our studios are located right across from the library in Greenfield. And by the way, I want you to know that I am blessed to be able to do this show every week. And it's because of the good people that are here. I love the staff at this place. I feel like I'm part of the family here. And I only do a show once a week, and I feel that way. But that's because they make you feel warm, they make you feel welcome, and they make you feel like you're needed. And that's pretty cool. And if you can be able to come here and have fun and do something that you never thought you could do, well, take the opportunity to join us on Monday, October 22nd, 5:30 to 7:30. Come talk to some of the pros. I always tell everybody that I've been doing this business 35 years. And if anybody has any questions about radio that night, feel free to come on up and talk about it with me. I would love to share some stories. I could tell you how I got started, and I could tell you how you could make a difference in our community as well. I would love to have you be a part of this great night on Monday, October 22nd, 5:30 to 7:30, right here at GCTV in Greenfield. Doors open, by the way, at 5. All right, Friday. Wow, the week is cruising by here. On Friday, we ended up having a lot that went down. You know what? Friday football. Friday night football. The gridiron. Bring it on. All right, let's talk. Here we go. Frontier picks up a huge win. They played Mahar on Friday night. Friday night football final score was 41-18. You know, if you talk to their coach, Scott Dredge, the assistant coach who ended up filling in for a sick Don Gordon because he wasn't feeling well last week, he said, you know, we're just trying to get the balance on the field we need. Kids really rotated well. Garrett DeForest had 19 carries, 202 yards to lead the charge for Frontier. You know what was nice? Ito McMillan ended up with 84 yards on 8 carries. Josh Samaski, the freshman, 63 yards, 8 carries. You know, Garrett is the guy. He is the senior leader on this team. And Dredge said that he's been very impressed with the other guys, too, as he should be. I mean, Ito with 84 yards. Josh Samaski with 63 yards on 8 carries to lead the Red Hawks. Great job right there by those guys. They did an awesome job. Let's run down how some of the things went in this one, okay? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about some of the scoring. DeForest ended up scoring on a 29-yard touchdown. He did it with 5 minutes and 7 seconds left in the first quarter. Hildreth, 18-yard pass to Kieran and Freeman, ends up coming quick. How about this? 5 minutes and 3 seconds. That was quick, man. 14-0 Frontier after the first quarter. Also, Frontier on a 16-yard run by Alec Kirkendall. That was nice. 21-0 Frontier. Samaski picks up his first touchdown as a Frontier Red Hawk. Nice job, Joshy. A nice 9-yard run, 27-0 Frontier at intermission. Mahar comes out, scores a touchdown in the third quarter. Frontier comes back in the fourth quarter with a touchdown from Hildreth, a 6-yard run. Also, DeForest with a 62-yard run. Once again, final score, 41-18, Frontier with a win over Mahar. Hildreth goes 1 for 3, 18 yards and a touchdown pass as the quarterback. Kieran Freeman ends up with that one reception for the 18 yards and the TD. Hildreth, rushing, ends up with 4 attempts for 9 yards and a touchdown. Garrett DeForest, like we said, 18 attempts, 192 yards, 2 TDs to lead the Hawks. Great job right there by Frontier, looking good. Well, Turner's Falls, this is a great game. Turner's Falls taking on a team that is very good. Seriously, McCann Tech is very good. How important was this win for Turner's? Well, let me tell you right now, they needed this win, and they got it. Final score, 27-6. They ended up rolling at home on Friday night. You know, people were talking about, well, you know, it's a big game. You played Greenfield last week. Now you got to come out against McCann Tech. Would there be any kind of a letdown? Absolutely not. Wyatt Keith ran the opening kickoff, 86 yards, weaving through traffic for a touchdown. That really set the tone for the Thunder. And they picked up their third win in a row, and a huge one at that. Very important win for them. Now, here's where it stands. Chris Lapointe says, quote, that was huge. The opening touchdown from Keith, the kids were excited right away. It was a real big start to a game that really fired up the team. We set our blocks. Wyatt was able to take it all the way. Turner's had the ability to run, pass, do everything they needed to do in the first half to pick up the win. Lapointe says that we can open it up if we're hot offensively. I will tell you right now, they are playing really good football. And this Wyatt Keith kid who came over from Pioneer, huge addition to this team. Lapointe said, certainly there's enough for us to work on moving on with things. We aren't where we need to be yet, but we're getting better and we're maintaining our focus. Tell you right now, they end up with a big game this week against Mahar. I think they're going to win that one. No problem. Turner's Falls in the driver's seat for a playoff berth. Awesome job, guys. Very proud of this Turner's Falls team. Great group of kids as well. Let's talk about some of the stats in this one, all right? Dodge goes 5 for 6 as the quarterback, 115 yards passing, 2 TDs. He also did have an interception on the day. For Turner's Falls, Jake Wallace ends up with a reception for 4 yards. Jaden Whiting gets 2 receptions for 105 yards. Kyle Dodge ends up with 2 rushing attempts for 36 yards. Wyatt Keith, 19 attempts, 127 yards, and a touchdown. Tyler Lavin ends up with 3 attempts with 3 carries for 24 yards for the Thunder. Nice win for them. Friday Night Football, big win over McCann Tech. Well, the Green Wave ends up taking a tough hit against Turner's Falls, but they came back, and they were back in Turner's Falls, but they were over on the other side of town where they had to take on the Franklin County Tech Eagles. Well, it was all the Wave in this one. They dominated 30-0. I will say that it turned out to be a very important win for Greenfield, especially with their win that they ended up needing to have to continue to have a chance at a playoff berth. Tell you right now, this turned out to be a win that was very important for many reasons. Not just that, but you don't want to go into a 2-game slump. Last year, this Eagles team came into Greenfield and knocked off Greenfield after they were 3-0. And it started a little bit of a skid, but it was a nice victory for them on the road. They end up winning big Friday night, 30-0. Owen Phelps says, we were definitely hungry for this win. R.J. Bird got back to his usual technique of running through the opposition, and it turned out to be a nice day for him. 25 carries, 151 yards, and 2 touchdowns. You know, Bird said, all we got to do is push harder. We're not satisfied right now. You know, we got to start really pushing. Pushing came first and foremost from an offensive line that opened up some holes. It was a big help for the Wave, and hopefully they'll be able to continue doing what they're doing. You know, Coach Joe Gamache gave Greenfield a lot of credit, saying that they played well. He also said that Bird is a tough athlete, probably one of the better ones in the league. Green Wave really did a nice job. And what about Phelps? How about 5 for 7 passing, 88 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, under the lights at the Tech School. You know, a guy who's really had a great year for Greenfield is Vega. They call him Noonie. Daniel Vega ended up having a nice game for Greenfield as well. Very solid. Matter of fact, him and Phelpsy have worked well together, and Greenfield already said they got a big game that they got to be ready for. They got to take on East Hampton on Friday night. They need that victory. Well, on Friday, we do have some golf scores for you. Mikey Kordoff ended up shooting a 3 under par. Frontier defeated Mahar 24-0, and Northampton 22-2. This team is unbelievable. We'll run down those scores in just a few minutes. Girls soccer, Frontier knocks off McCann Tech. Huge win on Friday night up in North Adams. 6 players scored at least once on Friday. They cruised. What about Natalie Denkowitz? She has been unbelievable this year. She found the back of the net twice in the first 5 minutes of play. Jenna Martin, Maddie Crocker picked up assists. Also, Warren ended up scoring as well. 5-0 turned out to be a huge win for this Red Hawks girls team. They've done a nice job. You know, when you have a chance to talk to their head coach, Phil Patelli, he says, it's really nice to see some goals go into the net. This whole season, the scoring has been spread around, and we've been able to score. It helps out the morale of the team, and it also does one other thing, too. It helps that there's other people that they're not just relying on 2 players, which is Cambry and Natalie. Those 2 girls, Hamilton and Denkowitz, have been the 2 stars. Other girls have been stepping it up. Also, Emily Joyce Sullivan ended up stopping 2 shots in the shutout. Frontier, as of Friday, 4-3 on the year. East Hampton knocked off Mohawk. I can tell you that the final score in this one was 7-0. Athol ends up beating Greenfield 3-0. So they end up having Dina Samaski with 9 saves for the Wave. They're now 4-2 as of Friday. Franklin County Tech ends up knocking off Commerce. Abby Corey scored the penalty kick in the first half. Corey's goal came in the first 7 minutes of the game. The Eagles are now 3-4-1, and Emily Merritt ended up with 4 saves in the shutout for the Tech School. Girls volleyball, Friday night, it was Turner's Falls beating East Long Meadow 3-2. Dabney Rollins served up one final ace in the end of the 5th set, and Turner's picked up the victory in East Long Meadow. So very excited about that. Let's run down the scores. Game 1, 25-17. Game 2, 20-25, they lose. Win Game 3, 25-19. They lose Game 4, 18-25, and they win Game 5, 20-18. Thunder, 7-3. Nice job for the ladies. Also want you to know that their coach, Kelly Lamatanian, says that we were behind in the 5th set and we just kept battling back. We fought right back to the end. It was a great way to see the girls pull off the victory. Taylor Murphy collected 8 kills, 3 blocks, 2 aces for the Thunder. Lindsay Whiteman ended up with 8 digs and 1 ace. How about Rollins? She ended up having a very successful day as well. Cy Tech knocks off the Franklin County Tech. Summer Gaudreau finished with 3 aces, 2 kills, 9 digs, and a block for the Tech School. They beat Cy Tech. Game 1 was 25-21. Game 2, 25-11. Game 3, 25-22. Kelly Trudeau ends up with 5 digs, 2 assists, and an ace in the loss. Renee Reed ended up with an ace and 3 kills. Field hockey, Frontier knocks off West Springfield. Olivia Vasilio scored twice as Frontier wins in field hockey on Friday. The Red Hawks end up winning. Emily DeMeo ended up scoring once in the win as well. Maeve Hewitt ended up having the lone assist in the match. Nice job for Frontier. Boys soccer, Westfield Tech beat Greenfield 2-0. Alex Carballo ended up with 8 saves for the win. They're now 1-6 on the season. Pioneer knocked off Dugan. Final score was 10-0. Wow. They had a slew of players who did well in this one, including Noah Keith, who ended up with 2 goals. Also, Felix Pruitt-Dahl ended up with 1 goal and 3 assists in the win. Jack Loud ended up with a goal and 2 assists. Jacob Quinn had a goal and 1 assist. Joel Emery ended up having a goal, as well as Garrett Cody, Alex Taylor, Daniel Kang, and Trey Frazier. Gabe Norwood and Gabe Martinez each chipped in a helper, and Ryan Underwood ended up with the 1 save. Peter Loud with 3 saves. They combined for the shutout. Boys golf, we talked about that matchup with that Frontier Mahar game. Mikey Kordoff with a 32, Gunnar Moore with a 34, Kyle Maynard with a 38, Brian Bauman with a 40, Kalen Evans with a 43, Rowan Blair with a 49. In that matchup against Northampton, it was the same thing. They ended up having a tri-meet. Running down the score of that Franklin County Tech Sabbath, your medalists were Mike McGoldrick and Nate Pelletier, Ryan Artis with a 45, Anthony Zager with a 47, Jacob Shaw with a 47, Nate Cannon with an 81. And just to let you know, on Saturday, one last score, Greenfield girls beat Northampton. They did 7-0. Girls volleyball Frontier beat Melrose, another really good team. They beat them 3-0. Wow, what a busy week on the Franklin County Varsity Sports Report. Let's put a wrap on things. Want to thank you very much for joining me again this week. I'm Bobby C. Thank you, Johnny Meisner. Thank you, Philippe Simone. Thank you, the 4-Leaf Clover Restaurant, Denny's Pantry in Greenfield. Also by Lisa Albert of Albert Hearing Services, 33 Riddell Street in Greenfield, and by Hubie's, the Tavern and Restaurant on Avenue Way in Turners Falls. Until we meet again, we say so long from our friends here at GCTV. Remember, support your local athletes.